Thank you and welcome back. Our first item for discussion is contract 20191312 Lake Tyers Beach Road Drainage and Road Improvement Works. So I'd ask that somebody like to move that. So Councillor Rotino, seconder. Councillor Reeves. So, Councillor Rotino, please, could you read out the recommendation?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm happy to move that Council 1 accepts the tender submitted by Fowlers Asphalting Proprietary Limited for CON 2019-1312 Lake Tyers Beach Drainage and Road Improvement Works for the contract amount of $813,345.50 exclusive of GST. 2, authorises signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed. And 3, resolves that this report, its attachments, appendices and all discussions in relation to this remain confidential.
Thank you. All those in favour? Councillor Peltz, will you vote? It's passed unanimously. Thank you, Councillor. Oh, I'm very sorry. Very sorry. I missed that. So sorry, that is 7 votes for. Councillor Peltz has voted against. Moving forward to item 7.2, which is CON 2019-1338 upgrade of Marlow Transfer Station. Councillor Reeves has moved that. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Rotino.
Thanks, Reeves. Mayor. I so move that Council accepts the tender submitted by JW Volk Proprietary Limited for CON 2019-1338 upgrade of Marlow Transfer Station for the contract amount of $417,095.40 excluding GST. 2, authorises the signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed. And 3, resolves that this report, its attachments, appendices and all discussions in relation to this matter remain confidential.
Thank you, Councillor Reeves. All those in favour? Those against? Okay, so we have 6 councillors for and 2 councillors against. Councillor Roberts, Councillor Ellis. The recommendation is passed.
I'll move 7.3.
So now we have item 7.3, which is now the contract 2019-1349 Davison Oval Skate Park redevelopment.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm happy to move the recommendation that Council 1 accepts the tender submitted by Grind Projects Proprietary Limited for CON 2019-1349 Davison Oval Skate Park redevelopment for the contract amount of $495,330 exclusive of GST. 2, authorises signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed. And 3, resolves that the report, its attachments, appendices and all discussion in relation to this matter remain confidential.
Thank you, Councillor Rotino. Just before we vote, the seconder was Councillor Peltz. Councillors, all those in favour? Those against? So we have 8 in favour, 7 in favour, and Councillor Ellis has voted against. So the recommendation is passed. That moves us to item 7.4, which is a Sunny Point Road Bridge replacement at Buchan, which is amongst a reasonable list of bridges that unfortunately we have lost as a result of the bushfires, but we're ready to do the reconstruction. So Councillor Toohey has moved that. Seconder is Councillor Peltz. Councillor Toohey, could you please read the recommendation?
I move the recommendation that Council 1 accepts the tender submitted by Jarvis Norwood Constructions for Con 2019-1359 Sunny Point Road Bridge Replacement Buchan for the contract amount of $576,675 excluding GST. 2, authorise the signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed. 3, resolves that this report, its attachments, appendices and all discussions in relation to this matter remain confidential. And 4, notes that any shortfall between the amount of funding received through natural disaster funding and the full cost of the bridge replacement will be funded by bringing forward a component of the 2020/21 bridge renewal budget from the Capital Works program.
Thank you, Councillor Toohey. All those in favour? This is unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Now have 7.5, which is the Upper Wingan Road Bridge Replacement, Carlo Creek. It's moved by Councillor Roberts and seconded by Councillor Buckley. So, Councillor Roberts, could you read the recommendation, please?
Thank you. I hereby move that Council 1 accepts the tender submitted by Tambo Constructions Pty Ltd for CON 2019-1360 Upper Wingan Road Bridge Replacement, Carlo Creek, for the contract amount of $330,410 excluding GST. And 2, authorise signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed. 3, resolves that this report, its attachments, appendices and all discussions in relating to this matter remain confidential. And point 4, notes that any shortfall between the amount of funding received through the natural disaster funding and the full cost of the bridge replacement will be funded by bringing forward a component of the 2020-2021 bridge renewal budget from the Capital Works program.
Thank you, Councillor Roberts. All those in favour? Also passed unanimously. Thank you, councillors. That brings us to item 7.6, which is the Sandy Creek Road Bridge Replacement at Tabarabara.
Sure, I'm happy to move that.
That's moved by Councillor Reeves, seconded by Councillor Rotino. Thank you.
Councillors, I recommend that Council accept the tender submitted by Jarvis Norwood Constructions Proprietary Limited for Con 2019-1365 Sandy Creek Road Bridge Replacement at Tabarabara with a contract amount of $264,610 excluding GST. 2, authorises the signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed. 3, resolves that this report, its attachments, appendices and all discussions in relation to this matter remain confidential. And 4, notes that any shortfall between the amount of funding received through natural disaster funding and the full cost of the bridge replacement will be funded by the bringing forward a component of the 2021 bridge renewal budget from the Capital Works program. Thanks, councillors.
Thank you. So we'll vote. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you, councillors. 7.7 is the Yelmy Road Bridge Replacement at Jarramond. Councillor Peltz has moved it and seconded by Councillor Toohey. So, Councillor Peltz, could you read the recommendation, please?
I so move that Con 219-1367 Yelmy Road Bridge Replacement Jarramond recommend that Council 1 accepts the tender submitted by Jarvis Norwood Construction Proprietary Limited for Con 2019-1367 Yelmy Road Bridge Replacement Jarramond for the contractual amount of $375,270 excluding GST. 2, authorises signing and sealing of the contract in the form proposed. 3, resolves that this report, is attached appendices and all discussions in relation to this matter remain confidential. And 4, notes that any shortfall between the amount of funding received through natural disaster funding and the full cost of bridge replacement will be funded by bringing forward a component of the 2020-21 bridge renewal budget from the Capital Works program. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Peltz. We'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Unanimous. Recommendation passed. 7.8, Harrison's Creek on Fairhaven Road Bridge Replacement, Genoa.
Mayor, I'm happy to move this unless you want to do it, councillor Buckley. Yeah, it was my old patch out there,
So
so...
it's
yeah,
so moved
good
by
on you. Thanks, councillor.
Councillor Reid, seconded Councillor Buckley.
Yep. Driven across that bridge a number of times, what was left of it. Councillors, I move that council accepts the tender submitted by Tambo Constructions Proprietary Limited for CON 2019-1368 Harrison Creek on Fairhaven Road Bridge Replacement, Genoa, for the contract amount of $304,259, excluding GST, authorises signing and sealing of the contracts in the form proposed, resolves that this report, its attachments, appendices and all discussions in relation to this matter remain confidential, and 4, notes that any shortfall between the amount of funding received through natural disaster funding and the full cost of the bridge replacement will be funded by the bringing forward a component of the 2021 bridge renewal budget from the Capital Works program. Thanks, councillors.
Thank you. Councillors, we'll put this to the vote. All those in favour? Also unanimous. Brings us to item 7.9, which is the Little River number 2 on Fairhaven Road Bridge Replacement, Genoa. So Councillor Buckley is moved and seconded Councillor Ellis. So Councillor Buckley, would you like to read the recommendation?
I also move that council accept the tender submitted by Tambo Constructions Proprietary Limited for contract N2019, excuse me, 1369 Little River number 2 on Fairhaven Road Bridge Replacement, Genoa, for the contract amount of $323,065.00, excluding GST. Authorise signing and sealing of the contract in the form proposed. 3, resolve that this report, its attachment, appendixes and all discussions in relation to this matter remain confidential. And 4, notes that this project will be funded by bringing forward a component of the bridge renewal budget from the 2020/21 capital budget, capital program. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Buckley. I'll put this to the vote. All those in favour? Also unanimous. That brings us to that is the last item on the agenda. So with no further business, I would declare the meeting closed at 7:57 p.m. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, officers.